morning. Welcome to Irene and Joe's wedding celebration. This marriage is the joyous recognition of these two wonderful people publicly stating their love and commitment to one another. We've come together to witness and participate in this marriage celebration. Many of us don't know one another and likely won't see one another after this weekend. Nevertheless, we share our friendship and love for Irene and Joe, and today we are a community coming together with hope, joy, pride, and love. In 2009, Joe wrote in an email to me that, quote, "Life waits for no one, so surround yourself with love and friendship, and your journey will be fine," end quote. We are gathered here today to surround Irene and Joe with love and friendship, and to make sure their journey and their marriage are not just fine, but that they are joyous, fun, and outstanding. My name is Mike Hindery, and I've had the pleasure of knowing Joe his entire life. Initially, he was Barb and Mike's son. Now he is my professional colleague and my friend. His mom, Barb, and I met in high school, during which she was with me on many double dates. However, let me reassure you that she was an observer of my dating habits, never once my date. My friendship with Barb deepened through high school and college and led me to her fabulous and generous husband and partner, Mike, and resulted in Joe, whom I love and respect for his commitment, intensity, loyalty, and loving heart. Joe and Irene met as freshmen at the University of California, Riverside in 2003, and have really been inseparable ever since. They hung out together for many months before dating, with Joe getting Irene's attention by throwing rocks at her dorm window. They became friends and ate lunch together in the cafeteria and walked together to class. They would meet in the dorm garden to talk. Although they weren't dating, and as many of you here today can attest, each responded to inquiries about their relationship by saying they were just friends, Irene would always put on makeup before their meetings in the garden. I love that they came to know and appreciate one another by spending summer weekends together that ended with Sunday night coffees and, according to Joe, wanting that cup of coffee to last forever. One of their first dates that summer involved Irene's birthday, an Italian restaurant, a birthday cake with candles, and rose petals all over the table. You are a romantic. Irene and Joe, we've been waiting for this day for quite a while. Irene and Joe's love and affection for one another is deep and inspiring. I'm so happy that Joe brought Irene and her gorgeous smile and quiet energy into my life. I know Irene to value family, friendship, trust, and happiness. Maggie and Alex, congratulations on the delightful daughter you have raised and that you are now sharing with Joe and with the rest of us. When Irene and Joe asked me to play this role in the wedding, I was overwhelmed with emotion. I don't perform weddings for a living, and this is a very, very special honor. After the joy, I was struck by the responsibility. I know that one of Irene and Joe's favorite movies is Up. So did they expect me to somehow be like the curmudgeonly yet loving character played by Ed Asner? Or more likely, did they expect me to be like the character Doug, the dog who's given a collar that enables him to speak? Yet in thinking of the movie and of Irene and Joe's courtship and romance, I recalled one of Doug's lines in the movie. "I have just met you, and I love you." That is the path Irene and Joe have been on since 2003. So here we are as the culmination of their journey. Irene and Joe are getting married, and we are here to surround them with love. As I noted earlier, we are gathered together as a community for this celebration. For thousands of years, family and friends have gathered together to witness two people commit themselves to one another. Each one of you here today is very, very important to Irene and Joe, and has a responsibility to witness and to nurture and to support them in their marriage. Our other shared responsibility is to turn this wedding into a huge love fest. Some people think that a wedding is a private matter. I think it is something larger than that. Irene and Joe's love and their marriage is a gift, not just to one another, but to our community gathered together here today, as well as to the larger community we extend out into. We will have one reading, then Irene and Joe will exchange their vows and rings and emphatically kiss one another. After that, they ask that each of you join them for a reception at Freedom Hall and Gardens in Santa Clara. And now the reading, chosen by Irene and Joe. Union by Robert Fulgham. You have known each other from the first glance of acquaintance to this point of commitment. At some point, you decided to marry. From that moment of yes to this moment of yes, indeed, you have been making promises and agreements in an informal way. All those conversations were held riding in a car or over a meal or during long walks. All those sentences that began with, when we're married, and continued with, I will, and you will, and we will. Those late night talks that included someday and somehow and maybe. And all those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. All these things and more are the real process of a wedding. The symbolic vows that you are about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know, all those things we promised and hoped and dreamed, well, I meant every word. Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another: acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dancing partner, and even teacher. For you have learned music from one another, much from one another in these last few years. Now you shall say a few words that take you across a threshold of life, and things will never quite be the same between you. For after these vows you shall say to this world, this is my husband, this is my wife. Irene and Joe will now exchange vows, doing so of their own choice and their own free will. In exchanging these vows, Irene and Joe are making promises to one another about the life they will lead together.
I love you. You are my best friend. Today I give myself to you in marriage. I promise to encourage and inspire you, to laugh with you, and to comfort you in times of sorrow and struggle. I promise to love you in good times and bad, when life seems easy and when it seems hard, when our love is simple and when it is an effort. I promise to cherish you and to always hold you in the highest regard. These things I give to you today and all the days of our life.
I love you. You are my best friend. Today, I give myself to you in marriage. I promise to encourage you and inspire you, to laugh with you, and to comfort you in times of sorrow and struggle. I promise to love you in good time and in bad, when life seems easy and when it seems hard, when our love is simple and when it is an effort. I promise to cherish you and to always hold you in highest regard. These things I give to you today and all the days of our life.
by virtue of the authority vested in me as Deputy Commissioner of Civil Marriages, I now pronounce you married as wife and husband under the law of the state of California. You may now kiss like you never have before.
Woo!
This concludes Irene and Joe's wedding celebration and ceremony. As I said, you're invited to the reception at the Freedom Hall and Gardens in Santa Clara. Family and friends, I'm pleased to introduce for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Hubbard.
Woo!